Hello fellow simmers and welcome to my speed build. Today we are in Oasis Springs on the Springscape lot building a karaoke bar. So right now I'm working on the shell. Since it is a karaoke bar, I decided that I wanted it to have a platform at the front. A stage, that's what those are called, a stage, so that, your sim can go up there and actually, do the karaoke. And we can do that now very easily because we do have the platform tool, and it makes it really easy to build stages, and I just love it. So we're putting that at the front of the building, and then I was trying to give the building some sort of interesting shape because, I don't know, I don't usually build these community lots. I've been branching out lately, and I've been doing one probably for most of my speed builds. So it's been a challenge to try to figure out what kind of shape to make these buildings so that they're not just like a box, So it was fun. My new favorite thing lately are salt box roofs. So I put a salt box roof on it, and that's just where one side of the roof comes up at a steeper slope than the other side, so one tends to be longer than the other, and I don't know. I think they look really cool, and it's been my new favorite thing lately. So I have the salt box roof at the front, and then in the back, it's not quite a salt box roof. It might be one wider on one side than the other, but I'm still working on it, so I'm not sure what the dimensions end up being, but it could just be a regular old roof. But yeah, so the back here is the bathroom, that small little jut out at the back. And what I'm trying to do is get the roof to work so that I can put like a little outdoor space there, like a covered patio. And with the way that I had done the roof, it was kind of turning out to be a little bit challenging because the roof didn't want to come up and meet at the right place, and it was just kind of a mess. I did eventually get it all sorted out, but it took a lot of fidgeting and a lot of reshaping the shell of the building. The back patio was really interesting. I added the regular patio here, and I have like the fence on it, but then I decided that I wanted to have it up on like a foundation. So I added the platform, and then I moved the foundation up, and I end up doing like this whole split level thing in the back, and it looks really cool. The problem with it though was that because I used the platforms and then I raised it up on a foundation, the little inset part there on the right ends up like having a wall around the edge, which is the foundation. It's not an actual wall, so you can't just like delete it. I don't know. I suppose if from the beginning I had put like the whole building on a platform, it would have been fine. I wouldn't have had that issue. But I didn't want to set everything on a platform because then it would just delete all my walls because platforms are still weird and glitchy. And I didn't want to have to re-wall everything. So I just kind of ran with the whole foundation thing. And I have stairs going down into it. And then I put some plants like on the outside of the wall so it kind of hides it, and it ends up being really cute. For the walls, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do with the walls. I've been trying a lot more to kind of branch out and use like more than one type of wall on the outside of a building. So I ended up doing siding, this brown siding here, and I really wanted to do brick accents. So I added the brick to the front and then this brick to the back, and kind of the idea I was envisioning is that this building used to be like just some like brick like storage building, warehouse, like some just general small brick building, and that it was repurposed and turned into this karaoke bar. So when I was kind of looking at it, I was thinking that like the original building would have been like kind of squarish, but with the way that it's shaped right now, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense with the way that I've got the brick and the siding laid out. So I kind of end up making the building a little bit wider. So I moved I moved the stage over 2 squares to the left and just kind of widen the building, and it ends up making a little bit more sense that this central brick part was the old original part of the building. The flooring was interesting to try to figure out on here. I used like that old kind of looking wooden boards, whatever. I used wood, old wood, for the front and back patios, and then I think I put some down, maybe, was it concrete? Yeah, some sort of concrete in the lowered section of the back patio, and then I put some of it inside as well, and I was messing around with tile in the bathroom, and I didn't like anything. So I went back and forth a whole bunch. I ended up deciding that the concrete was going to be like in that original quote-unquote part of the building. So it ends up being solely in the middle part of the building. And then I put more of the board up on the stage. Like the stage had been like just built in like over there with wood like on top of like an existing floor. And then I put in this wood flooring, the white wood flooring on either side of the original part of the building. And I think it's like toward the end of the video, I decide that I don't like the white floor, and I replace that with some other color of wood flooring. But it was interesting. I do replace the back lowered section of the patio with like the grass flooring. I suppose, I'm not sure if I could have just deleted the concrete or whatever that like automatically places when you create rooms and whatnot, but it might have deleted the whole platform if I did that. I don't know, like some of the mechanics in build mode just boggle my mind and they don't make sense. But yeah, so that's what we did in the back. I just put some grass there and called it a day. But the walls inside, I had it all like white at first, along with the brick, of course, that I had already placed, but it was just looking a bit too white inside, so I put in that dark brown paint, which is really different for me. I don't really like really dark walls, like in general, but for a karaoke bar, it seemed to work. I've never been to a karaoke bar before. I mean, I've been to bars, so like, and I've been to bars that have like karaoke set up, but never one that's like specifically for karaoke that has like a stage and stuff. So I figured a kind of like darker atmosphere, with like darker walls would be kind of fitting, because it'd probably be something that people would come to in the evening after work, have some drinks, sing some songs, whatever. So the darker walls seemed to work for this build, and so I branched out and I tried some dark paint. So I have that hidden bookcase door there, and the whole idea behind that was that the room back behind the bar is like a secret VIP room. So I used the bookcase door to, kind of like hide it and make it look secretive or whatever. So I just thought that was a little fun thing to do. So I will decorate it later with like a couch and a TV, and it's just like the secret little room that you go back and hang out in if you get the special invite. I decided to try my hand at using neon signs. It is a public space, and it's a bar, so I figured it needed some sort of like fun lighting. I don't know. I don't get out much. I don't know what places like this look like, so I was really just winging it. I was completely winging it. I really like that sign because I had little music notes on it, so where does it end up in the build? I put it out front, and then I'm like, no, because nothing else outside is red, so it doesn't fit. I think it ends up above the door on the inside of the building. But anyway, I put this bar here, and I kind of wish that I had used a different bar, because it doesn't really seem to match the rest of the build. And I didn't really think about it until I'd finished, and I was like starting to edit out certain parts of the video that I was going to leave out. And I was like, oh, actually that bar was a terrible choice. It especially doesn't go with the bar back that I put in, which with the filters that I used was the only bar back available. And it's from Strangerville. It's a really cool bar back though, but it does not match the bar that I picked. So I should have just gone back and changed the bar since that was my only bar back option, but whatever. It's done. It's there. So I used the big karaoke machine for the stage because the stage is actually really big. And later when I start decorating more in the stage area and the lower floor, I really struggled to figure out what to put on that stage. Because I'm like, if you're up here singing karaoke, like what do you put on a stage? I don't know. I've been on a stage like maybe a handful of times in my life, and that was for like band in high school. So it was just covered like with, chairs and music stands. So I was like, what do you put on a karaoke stage? I don't know. I really like this little space right outside the bathrooms because, I don't know, like having seating outside of bathrooms is just something that every public space should have, because a lot of the times when you go out, you usually go with a friend or like family or whatever, and if someone needs to stop in the bathroom, it's nice if you don't have to go to have somewhere to sit while you're waiting. So like back behind this wall, it's like this little waiting area, and there's a bench back there. And I think I put a light like up on the wall because it was really dark back there. But later I find like the cork board that has like all the little notices and advertisements and stuff that people pin up. And I really wanted it in the build, and I tried a whole bunch of places, and then I was like, wait, no, the perfect spot for this is back by the bathroom. Because when people go back there and they're sitting waiting on everybody else, to go finish peeing, they're like right there. And it just seemed like the most obvious place to have a little board with notices and advertisements and whatnot. So yeah, it's probably like my favorite space in the whole build is the waiting area outside the bathroom. And it's, like a whole like 3 items that I put back there, but I don't know. I'm weird and I like it. Probably just because it makes sense. It's very realistic in my opinion. This VIP room, I liked the idea. I really like the idea of having this little hidden room at the karaoke bar where, people can go, like, I don't know, maybe you have like a club that meets back there. I don't know. But I really liked the idea of having it, but I was really struggling to furnish it. Like, I was like, I don't know, what do you put in a special VIP room? So I was like, couches, a fireplace, a TV, and I don't know. I don't think it looks very good, personally. I mean, I kept it on the build because otherwise I'd have to, like, redo the whole roof. And I really didn't want to redo the whole roof because I'd spent so much time on it, and I liked how it was. So I had to keep the room. Here's the stage. The stage just looked so bland, like, from the front, because there's that, like, elevated part, like, at the front. And I wanted something along it, so I tried some fences, as you just saw, and all the fences looked terrible. And then I was like, well, it's a stage, how about curtains? So I tried using curtains to put up there, and here in a second you'll see that it just looks absolutely awful. It does not look like natural curtains. So yeah, since the curtains weren't working at the front of the stage, I was like, oh, maybe we could hang some curtains at the back. So I put up a couple, and that looked awful as well. Like, if we had some that were like the right size that would have fit the walls that I have back there, then it might not have been too bad. But they were all either like awkwardly hanging in the middle of the wall, or they were too tall to fit on the wall, and just none of them worked, even when I messed with the sizing. So I ditched the curtain idea altogether. There are no curtains. Oh, and then I had the brilliant idea to use actual spotlights, or whatever they're called, to light up the stage. See, aren't I brilliant? I have good ideas sometimes. But no, it has like that cool red light too, which I didn't know. I don't think I've ever used them before. So that was fun. That was a fun addition, something that I'd never used before. And it ends up looking really cool, and it does kind of fill out some of that space up around the stage, because I couldn't figure out what to put on the stage, so hanging lights above the stage kind of was a replacement to make it not look super empty. Oh no, I didn't ditch the curtains completely. That's right, I used curtains to put along the front of the stage, because I wanted something up there because it looked just really gross and bland. And like I said earlier, the fences weren't working. So I figured out that curtains, the small curtains, will actually hang from that ledge. So I just lined it with a bunch of curtains, and I don't know, it's okay. It's better than just the plain white front of the stage, but I don't know. But yeah, decorating the outside of like a business or community lot is really hard. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not accustomed to it, and I'm sure that the more I build lots like this, the better I'll get at it, and it'll just become more second nature, kind of like it is when I'm building houses, where I just like I just know what goes on the outside of houses. I mean, I live in one, so it's, not really terribly difficult to figure out. But buildings, like making public spaces look interesting, and like with the signs, and like it's just a totally different aesthetic, and it's really challenging to figure it out. I really wanted lights. Like, I've been obsessed with like lights like that, like string lights lately. I don't actually have any in my house. I really want to get some for my bedroom, like little string fairy lights or something. They're just really pretty, and they're like this new thing that I'm into. Maybe it's just because I've been watching like streams lately. I've been thinking about starting streaming myself, so I've been like watching other people to kind of see what it's all about and whatnot. But a lot of streamers have fairy lights in the background, or even like some YouTubers, like when they have like their little face cams in their office, or their bedroom or whatever, wherever they're recording at, they'll have lights in the background, and they're just so pretty. But anyway, I'm rambling. So I don't have them on here at the moment. I got rid of the ones that I was looking at were like lanterns, but they weren't fitting there along the fence like I wanted them to. But later I'll come back up here and I actually put them on the deck. They're not like along the fence. They come out from the wall, and like there's the post like that lands on the deck itself. And so I have like 2 strings of them at a 90-degree angle. I used to really dislike landscaping, but the more I do it, the more I really just enjoy it. Like, I love doing the like different rock formations like I have there, where I put the rocks underneath that big sign, and just like lining things with bushes, having the hanging plants off the walls, putting fun potted plants outside, building like just these big lush garden beds. Like, I've really gotten into it a lot more recently, and it's just really fun. And I love green. My favorite season is summer. Like, around this time of the year, like mid-January, I am just dying for more greenery where I live, because I live in the Midwest of the United States, and it's just so nasty in the winter. I really don't like it. Everything's dead. Everything's gray. I need green. I need green in my life. And so I find that by landscaping in The Sims during the winter. Oh, there's where I changed the floor. I did not like the white. The white didn't match like anything else in the building, because it's all dark browns, light browns, like grayish browns, like it's all very, very brown, really. And so that white floor just poking out around the rugs looked absolutely awful. So I finally changed it there. All right, here's the back deck. So it is a karaoke bar, but I decided that if you brought your Sims here and they were hungry, it might be useful to have some way that they could eat. I'm not sure if you can order bar food or not. Probably not. I think just drinks. But I added a grill in the back, and we all know that our Sims love to grill, so you don't have to worry about that. They will go back there and feed themselves autonomously if they are hungry. Or, if you want them to drink at the bar, they'll go back there and grill themselves autonomously because they love grilling. So here are the lights. They're so pretty, and I love them, and I just want to use them in everything now because it's my new fave thing, in addition to salt box roofs. And what else did I say was my favorite thing earlier? I don't know. Maybe that was it. Salt box roofs and fairy lights. But yeah, anyway, I tried to light up the back the best that I could. I have it set to night so that I could actually see how well it is lit up while I'm doing it. But if you were to, come chill on the back deck here in the evening, then you'd obviously want it to be fairly well lit. So I tried. Some of the lights, especially the outdoor lights in The Sims, don't really give that much light. So I tried my best. The fairy light, between the fairy lights and the wall lights, and then the little, lights that I put on the fence posts there in the back, it's not too bad. I really wanted to put some sort of little lights on the tables, like little candle lights or little lantern lights or something, but the filters that I were using did not have any that would actually slot to those tables. They were like candles, but they were too big and wouldn't slot. So there's no lights on the tables. I did have the option, I've got some CC downloaded, but I didn't want to put any CC in it, so we did not use those. Alright, here's the cursed VIP room that I could not figure out. I've got the couches, you know, I've got the fireplace, a coffee table, and end table lights. You know, I've got all the basics. But then I've got the walls, and I could not figure out what the heck to put on the walls. I figured, you know, it's a karaoke lounge, right? So, or karaoke bar. So, some sort of music paintings seemed to make sense, so I busted out the jazz paintings there. And the frame on them kind of works, but I don't really care for the color pink. So, they're up there for a minute, and I size them down, and I move them around, and I try to like them, but I don't. I don't like them at all. I don't think I've ever used them in a build, and actually kept them in the build. And this build is no exception. They end up getting deleted. I decided that the VIP room deserved their own juice rack there, so they did get that. Oh, those paintings, though. Why? Why? There we go. I decided to get rid of that one and replace, or the other three, and replace it with that one. Still music related, but not quite as pink, so much more bearable, much easier on the eyes. I throw some books on the mantle over there. I put a nice box on the table. We all need a good box on our coffee table. And that's about it. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole build, guys. So we're gonna go into the screenshots here in a second. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Drop a comment to let me know what you thought. Hit subscribe if you want to know what we're up to next time. And I will see everybody then. Thanks. Bye-bye.